You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twi1ight Zone.
Welcome back to American Fabricator. It's 4th of July, and like every 4th of July, I work a 15-hour day in the shop. It's my own personal sacrifice to celebrate 2 layers of sweet freedom that I enjoy. The freedom that we all share as Americans, and the freedom that I've had for more than 26 years working for myself and signing my own paychecks. It's hard work, and my paycheck varies greatly, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. Having a picnic at the park or going to the lake and getting hammered is something I'm free to do any one of the other 364 days out of the year. It's something I'll never take for granted, ever. With that said, let's do some welding.
I'm always surprised how many experienced fabricators I've run into who are not familiar with the dynamics of heat distortion. Learning this simple concept I'm about to show you will save you time, frustration, as well as add quality to your work. What we have here is a classic situation in welding. We're wanting to weld 2 pieces of tubing at a 90-degree angle. And this is done by cutting each piece of the tubing at 45 degrees. I use this T-square with some pins mounted in it, and this elevates the T-square so that it can feel the wall of the tubing. What I've done is mounted these 2 pieces to the welding platen, and they're set square. If we were to apply heat evenly on this joint here, even though these 2 pieces are set square, most welders will not pay attention to the sequence of the welds and the direction of those welds. And that's critical to make sure that you have a balance of heat distortion. If I were to somehow apply the welds all the way around this joint equally, the heat will favor distorting this part inward. You want more heat on the outside than you do on the inside. If you notice, each one of these pieces are 6 inches long, but that's on the outside. If you go to the inside, they're 4 inches long. This creates a problem because the inside surface area is 4 inches plus 4 inches for a total of 8 inches, and the outside surface area is 6 and 6 for a total of 12 inches. So if you apply the same amount of heat on each side, you would have a whole lot more surface area on the outside in which to delocalize the heat and disperse the heat. So you'll end up with a relatively cooler weld on the outside than you will on the inside. It has much less area to disperse itself. So how do you fix that? Put your first weld on the outside corner. What this does is it preheats this outside corner, whether this corner on the inside is left at room temperature. Next, you want to weld the side. Start from the inside to the outside. If you start from the outside to the inside, you're going to preheat this entire area so that by the time you start welding here and end up here, it's going to be much harder on the inside. That's a real big problem because you already have a whole lot less surface area in which to delocalize and disperse the heat. That way, you've preheated your weld with the outside bead, and then when you run your side beads here, you go from the inside and you start welding, and by the time you're about halfway done, you've already preheated where you're going to end up. I'm going to go ahead and weld these 2 pieces together here. Square with the square. I'm going to take the square away. Now I'm going to tack weld the 2 pieces together. Okay, we've got everything tacked together. If you look closely, you'll see a blue heat signature. These are these lines here. They start out narrow where we started the bead, but towards the end they're much wider. This indicates that the outside got much hotter than the inside, which is what you want. We've balanced the distortion out, and this is the result. As you can see, the finished weld has cooled down and it remains as square as the square. I'm smelling natural gas. probably coming from the powder coating shop next door. Maybe we ought to check it out. Let's go next door and talk to Pat. He's been swamped, so he's working tonight, even though it's 4th of July. Pat's a good friend of mine. I've known him for 15 years. He started off sweeping the floor of a powder coating shop. 15 years later, he's sitting on $2 million with the real estate. He owns several powder coating shops, and he's a wealthy man. He's a great inspiration of what it means to live the American dream. Hey, buddy, what's up?
Hey, what you say, my man? How you doing?
Not much. I was just next door welding, and I was smelling the natural gas. It was slight, but I just started smelling it. I thought I'd just come over and check it out.
Yeah, we got a slight gas leak on one of the gas trains. Not sure which oven. We're going to spend some time here. But they put an additive in the natural gas so you can smell it well in advance of a high and dangerous concentration. So that's what you're smelling. It's really not a big deal.
Oh, so it's really not high enough to really worry about it?
No, you can smell it in real low concentrations because, as I say, there is an additive for the very reason that you're experiencing. And in a big shop like this with a lot of ovens,
I see.
We need some kind of assistance to detect these leaks because we get them all the time, so it's no big deal.
It's a little dicey when you smell natural gas and at the same time you're welding.
Yeah, if you're not around it, I understand.
So it's no big deal, actually.
We don't have a problem with it.
I see. Is this the natural gas line itself right here?
Yeah, 1.5 inch natural gas.
1.5 inches.
Yeah, we're running gas on a 2-inch, 2.5 inch pipe with a capability of 14 million BTUs.
Wow.
So we use a lot of gas, so that's why we go through the gas trains.
Woo! Boy, I don't see how you can stand walking in there. That's amazingly hot.
Yeah, 25 feet long. Right now it's burning at 400 Fahrenheit.
They must love you over there at the gas company.
Sure do.
I guess I'll just get back to what I was doing. It was just kind of dicey smelling that natural gas. I just thought, I'd come over and check it out. I'm surprised you're working on the 4th of July.
Yeah, but what do you say we go and have a couple of beers when I'm done here?
You know me, it's 4th of July. I always work 4th of July. We'll catch you next week.
You got it, thanks.
Have a nice 4th. Well, that's it for me. I'm going back to work. Hope you enjoyed the show. Have a happy and safe 4th of July weekend, and I'll see you here next time on American Fabricator. Where am I? Hello?
How you doing? Hey, it's Patrick.
Oh, Pat, thank God you called.
I won't be able to make your 4th of July party, I'm afraid.
What happened?
I got a call from the fire department. They've detected a huge gas leak. Are evacuating the area right now. I'll just catch you later. Hello? Hello? Hey, buddy, are you there? Hello? Hello?
The Fabricator doesn't know it, but his flag is down and his meter's running. And he's in high gear on his way to the Twi1ight Zone.